Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil, and she is Aprylete. How are you?
I am well. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. So I've had a couple of days.
Hmm.
I've had a couple of days. This week has been a little trying for me. Just some family woes. So yeah, I am trying to be well. I have showed up. I am here, but definitely just kind of
Kind
in it.
of, you're here. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
hmm
Well, being here as opposed to not is a good thing.
Yeah. How
And
are
I'm
you?
sorry. I'm sorry about your family woes. I'm okay. I've been challenged by a number of things. Most of my stuff is like house related, car related. It's a lot of that. So those are the kind of headaches that I'd rather take than to have family woes. So I understand what you're going through, and I really appreciate your giving of your time, especially as our mental health and wellness contributor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That really is that speaks to your character and your stepping up and wanting to be of service to someone else, and
I
hopefully
appreciate it.
in talking about your story and other things we talk about, people will garner something from that, and we'll be able to have a great takeaway from this evening. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being here with us. We missed you last week, and glad that all
Yeah.
is well.
Thank you.
And so let us talk about the newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African American community. We give you stories involved with politics, health, um, mental health and wellness, LGBTQ plus issues, social justice, as well as physical health and wellness. And we have some specialists in that area, especially as wealth,
Mm.
with our CPA to the stars, Katrina Kraft. And that comes to you on Tuesday and Monday. We have Ministry Mondays. We've got so much. This is a newsletter that's chock full of information from very fine people. We would love for you to subscribe to it. Please go to SybilWilkes.com and give us your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. It will cost you not a dime, not a penny, not nothing. I know that's a double negative. I know. But I will tell you that when you do subscribe, please open it every day when the newsletter comes to you. That helps us a lot too in keeping track of the numbers and what have you. All right, young Aprylette, let's go to your story. You're our mental health and wellness contributor, Aprylette Russell, on mental health breakthrough with
Yeah.
its research into psychedelic drugs. Whoa, what a mind trip.
Right. Right.
And working to develop non hallucinogenic medications. I got to tell you, we do the audio version of this, and I had the most difficult time going through.
And I listen every time to your audio. And when you said the words, I'm like, oh, that's how you pronounce that. I did not know. So I listened like 3 times before I got on this live just to let you know. So I'm glad.
That is funny. I was like,
Yes.
okay, well, she put them down there, so I'm gonna do my damnedest to pronounce them correctly. I appreciate that, but yeah, it is a bit of a challenge.
Yes, but I thought this story was absolutely like interesting. So there's a company, a biotech company out of Tampa called Celeria, and they're working to develop a non-hallucinogenic medications that can be used to treat an array of mental health disorders. And so the company founders say that their research is inspired by the long felt frustration of development of new treatment, and a lot of advocacy people are feeling that way as well. And so by removing the hallucinogenic properties of drugs like LSD, Molly, magic mushrooms, they hope to remove the potential dangerous side effects, but
Mm,
still use these psychedelics.
hmm.
And according to recent studies over the last decade, interest in psychedelics and their potential treating of mental illness have increased among the veteran community, along people that have PTSD.
Wow.
And yes, so they did a study and actually talked to a lieutenant, and he said that veterans who have experienced psychedelic assisted therapy, they primarily have to fly across the country to get those treatments. So here in the US, it's not being talked about. It's not FDA regulated. So um, this right here is the breakthrough. And so a lot of advocacy groups are going to Congress saying that psychedelic therapy is a game changer for the veteran community. This is going to help. This is really going to push us to that next level in treatment. And so as of right now, Celeria, the biotech company, is currently seeking FDA approval in hopes to beginning their first clinical trials this year. And I think that it's different because when you think about LSD and like psychedelic drugs back in the hippie era, I wasn't
In
around,
the
but
hippie era.
I know for sure that it kind of got a negative stigma around it. There was, some dangerous side effects, and people just kind of thought you were loosey goosey and hallucinating and not really taking charge of life. But I know in a lot of cultures they use psychedelic drugs as like a spiritual practice.
Right.
And kind of getting into that unconscious and stepping into that. And I think that I actually read that for the psychedelic assisted therapy, they actually use the psychedelic, the drugs to pretty much like tap into that unconscious and learn from it. So if someone is experiencing anxiety or depression or a little bit of PTSD, and then they have that psychedelic component, they're going to be altered in the mind. They're going to be altered with their serotonin and their mood levels and things like that. And that's when the psychiatrist or psychologist or that professional comes in, taps into their unconscious and try to learn exactly what that feeling is. So this could possibly be a game changer, but I will say that there's a lot of, hesitation.
Sure, of course, because you think about psychedelics and the hallucinogenic properties of this. So does it lose any, do they say that it loses any of its effectiveness because they have taken away the psychedelics aspect?
No, the founders haven't said that, and I haven't read any of that, but they did say with taking out that hallucinogenic, that takes away and kind of the fear because you won't have that hallucination. And so outside of the hallucination, there is still some properties in there that help with treating depression.
Oh, okay.
And they did do a study and they put it up against a medication called Lexapro. And so they did a study, and it was like a 60-day study. And it was 15 people in the study of the patients. And so they did not see a real change, but it was slight enough where it's like, okay, well, we should keep on studying this, maybe add some new people to the test study and things like that. So,
and I'm always curious when they do have studies or have clinical trials and the people that volunteer for them. Would you volunteer for something like that?
I don't know. You know what? I wouldn't be the first one. And
you lay back in the cut for a minute,
just to see what's going on. And then you already know, just being Black and all of the things that we have been through when it comes to these studies and clinical trials and how they have done us for years. It's just like, I don't want to be the one.
Well, I get that. But knowing the good, the positive outcomes and that other people could benefit from, then that might make a difference. I think if, I
put
think
me on the research team. Like, put me on the research team. I will show up and serve that way.
That'll be your manner of serving. Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I do appreciate your diligence in bringing these stories to us. And I've never done psychedelics. I've never
LSD,
had
no
hallucinogenic drugs or anything like that. Nothing that a good glass of wine can't handle.
No mushrooms.
No.
Nowadays, the kids are really. I know mushrooms have been around for years, but mushroom community has like grown, and you might not know, but baby.
No, I've heard that the kids are down with the shrooms.
Yeah.
But I've never, even when I was a kid and shrooms were offered, but I didn't take any of that stuff. I just never did.
Oh, you're a good girl.
Well, I tried to be. I wasn't opposed to drinking a glass of wine at a party, but I didn't smoke or no hard liquor or anything like that. I learned that at college. But I never took anything that was going to be a mood or a mind altering drug.
That's scary. For me, I feel that because the mind is so, your mind is so precious, it's so powerful, and it's just anything that can alter it when you already a little off, it's just,
Yeah, I mean, that's real. Yeah, for sure. So, and the only time I've had THC I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling because they said it was going to help me go to sleep, which is my issue. And I felt so woozy and not having control. Even when I was laying down, I felt lightheaded and things like that. I was scared to go to sleep.
Were you
So that
paranoid? Did it kind of cause a little bit of paranoia?
no, I can't say it was paranoia. It was just it was a kind of a it was kind of like spinning and things like
Mhm.
that I felt, God, if I go to sleep, please let me wake up. One of
Yeah. Oh,
those
wow.
things.
Yeah. So I know you weren't trying that again.
Yeah, yeah. So that didn't work for me so much. But
Mhm.
I'm open to it. Now
Yeah.
my friends are like, well, you should do gummies, you should do this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Myra J sent a picture of a truck, like a food truck that brings your
Oh,
your your
yeah.
weed to you.
Oh, I love I love that. Okay.
Is
Weed on
is that a
wheels.
thing? She saw that she sent a picture from, I guess it was Miami, where they had it, and
Mhm.
like a taco truck, and they got to
Go down the
schedule.
assembly
Yeah,
line. I'm
yeah.
sure it is. I went to a party in LA and it was I called it a weed party, but it wasn't. But they had like a station where they literally had everything set up for you, the different strands, the this, the that, and it was a whole thing. So I wouldn't put the taco truck past them for sure.
That's really interesting. I wonder, if I ever come across something like that, I think I would like to try it. I remember being in New York, and there were like these lollipops that didn't do
Mhm.
anything for me,
Mhm.
didn't do a damn thing. It was like I wasted,
Speaking of the
$5.
lollipop.
I could have gotten a bottle of wine.
No,
But
literally. That makes me think about too with people who are going through like life-threatening illnesses, like cancer
hmm
and things like
right.
that. They prescribe weed lollipops and things like that, and that may kind of maybe calm their nerves down and what they're going through. I'm not sure exactly how
And
that.
I don't know if it does, Aprilette, or at least in your mind,
Right.
maybe it has some sort of property to relax you, thinking that it does something for you. But whether
Yeah.
it does or doesn't, I don't know. But I've never had that kind of out of control and feeling as though I was a little loopy, just not very relaxed, and so
Hmm.
that didn't didn't sit well with
Right.
me.
So now we know you're not doing no LSD or no mushrooms. So
Yeah.
Mark Sybil off the list for that.
Yeah, yeah, you can miss me with that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about other things that are in the What You Need to Know newsletter, and I hope that everyone is enjoying it. I really want. I'm not the type that goes, "Oh, I can do this," and then just rattle off a story. I'm a bit slower and a little bit more method to putting a story together from another story, but the last couple of days have had the stories that I do often have a profound effect on me. And this story that came out of Ocala, Florida, Central Florida, for those who don't know, it's maybe about a couple of hours from Orlando. It's or Gainesville area, where a University of Florida is. This was a horrific story in which a history of neighbors not getting along
Mm.
culminated in the murder of a Black mother of 4 children. She went to defend her children to get their iPad back
Mhm.
after this white neighbor who used to scream at kids and yell racial epithets and things like that. They were playing in I guess it was a communal playground or
Mhm.
area, and she was yelling at the kids, and the kids started to run. One of the children left his video tablet in the play area,
Mm.
went back to get it. She had scooped it up, and this white neighbor had. And so they went to, and she threw something at the kids,
Oh, just
like a roller
disgusting.
skate at the kids, hit his foot. He and his big brother went back, and they went to the woman's house, and she opened the door, and she's attacking them with an
Mhm.
umbrella. And so then they had to go tell their mama, and their mom came out. By this time it's 9 o'clock at night, and she's knocking on the door, come out, come out, just give me my son's tablet. And I guess it's been described as having some back and forth between the
Mhm.
door, and the next thing you know,
Mm.
this woman shot from one side of her door through the door, hitting the Black mother. Her name was AJ Owens, and she was killed in front of her children.
That is horrific. That's disgusting.
Yeah, and I keep telling the story because I keep trying to make sense of it, but this is one of those stories that you just
You
can't
can't
make
make sense of
sense
it.
of.
No.
And the more I got into it, I was trying to put myself into, because Yolanda always says, I don't know what's in their head, I don't know what's in their hearts, but this was a very troubled woman, this white neighbor. And people are saying how difficult she was to get along with,
Hmm.
how they knew that she wasn't quite right,
Mm-hmm.
and now it has ended up that
She
her
is
life,
literally
AJ Owen's life is over. Her children's lives will never
be the
ever
same.
be the same. Kids 3, 8, 10, and 12.
Wow.
And her mother is now, I guess, looking
I
out for her
hate it.
children.
I hate that.
Um,
So, if has she been charged?
so finally, this happened almost a week ago. It happened
Okay.
Friday night. And finally, on Wednesday, they arrested her and filed charges, manslaughter charges. Ben Crump, the famed civil rights
Man.
attorney, wants them to charge her with murder.
Absolutely.
That is something that's going to have to come from the district attorney or the state attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully they will up the charges.
Mm.
Murder, uh, assault, battery, and something else. But
Mm.
it was manslaughter with a firearm.
Mm. And what are the laws? They were in Florida?
Florida, yeah.
Okay.
And so the sheriff himself has said that this is not a stand your ground
At all.
situation. He
That's
said
why I
this
was
is
making
what
sure.
this is a killing.
Yeah. Wow. And the sheriff said it. Come
Yeah,
on, sheriff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This.
But a lot of discussion. As soon as this happened, they should have arrested this woman,
Absolutely.
but they did not. So here we are. She has been arrested. She's been charged, and I know that there are GoFundMe's for this family, but these children will need years and years of therapy. One of the children, the 12-year-old, runs to the
Mm.
neighbor's house to get help for his mother. The other is there with the
Mm.
mother, and thinking, if I hadn't just left that damn
Yeah.
iPad, my mom still
Oh,
might be alive. It's just
so heartbreaking.
it is heartbreaking. And a lot of stories, Aprylette, this week about women who have been killed by men that they know, their boyfriends or husbands or, whatever the relationship was. It was some sort of intimate relationship. And it's just awful to have this, but it's one of those kind of weeks where this is the news. Now, the good news, and we'll share during the trending that I got a chance to write today, so we'll talk about that. And so that's the kind of thing we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Our other political contributor, Cameron Riley, talks about the campaign of now. Cornell West, Dr. Cornell West, is running as a third party candidate, and kind of breaks it down and wondering what good will this candidacy do, especially for our people. Cornell West, and the irony here in asking that question is that Cornell West is the one that created the African American Studies Department at Princeton University. Now the question is the organization that he is affiliated with, is it doing the good for Black people? Although Black people think that, when you think Cornell West, you think of, power to the people. His third party is not necessarily in conjunction with that, as well as the fact that he has been seen as one who has agreed with Governor Ron DeSantis and his actions in Florida. So it's time for us to start doing our homework and decide who we're going to support. And this is a big year coming up, absolutely, from top to bottom, from President and Vice President Kamala Harris, all the way down to the statewide offices, or I should say federal offices, for the United States Congress. So, and that is in 2024. It'll be here before you know it. We'll have primaries beginning almost at the beginning of the year. So, yay! I'm excited. This is our time of year, and Aprylette is just like, miss me with this. So that is the kind of thing that we have in the What You Need to Know newsletter, and we will journey forth as we talk about other things in our programming here. So now it's time to move to the what's really going on section, and we have a fun question. I believe that folks will enjoy this. And what's going on? And asking Aprylete, hopefully she'll hear this when she comes back, but asking everyone else who is watching and listening today, when it comes to the hard no's, what is your hard no when it comes to the cosmetics or the wardrobe as someone that you're looking to date or perhaps
Oh,
as a mate? So is there something
I
that
came back right on
yes,
time.
you did.
Okay.
Yes, you did. Like, for instance, you have a great short haircut. Not all men can appreciate a woman with a
That
great
is
short
true.
haircut. That could be their
Hmm.
hard no. They don't like
Yeah.
a woman with short hair. Um, Although Guy Torrey is one of those guys, he really loves. I have another friend named April who is a radio personality in Baltimore, and he loves the fact that her head is shaved. You
Oh,
know, and
wow.
so he would absolutely adore your haircut. But what are those things when you look at a guy and you and your girlfriend are there having mimosas, during a
Mm.
brunch, and you see guys walking down the street and you look at them and you go, nope,
Okay,
nope.
so on the physical, just
Well, it could
by
be
what I
physical, it
see.
could be cosmetic, it could be, for instance, someone said, miss me with a man with a lace front.
Oh, you say, baby, I don't want to deal with that. You and your
Right,
lace
right,
front.
right. I
Hmm.
I happen to think it looks sloppy for guys with the drooping pants,
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with that too.
right?
Ooh, that's so. Ooh, I don't. Ooh, I'm scared to say because like I don't want to get in trouble by the folks, but I
Okay, folks, don't be mean to Aprylette.
do
We're
not
just
be mean
giving
to
our
me.
own opinions.
Yes, and I will say I'm actually reading this book, and I wish I could go grab it because it's right here on the couch. It's called Two Dates or Less, and it's written by a marriage counselor, and they talk about the non-negotiables and the
Mhm,
must-haves. So
mhm,
this is pretty much on that same level. So if we're just literally talking about appearance or something I can see from the eye without
mhm,
actually talking to you and get to know you, I don't play about teeth. It's like your hygiene. I need your mouth
mhm.
to look like you brushed your teeth, you use floss, a tic tac, something. I do not play about the mouth area. And it needs to be groomed, all of those things.
Right.
So that's one thing. It's just like, yeah, if you open your mouth and it's yuck,
Oof.
we ain't doing nothing.
No, no, not
No.
happening. I get that. I get that. So I don't like, the drooping pants and sagging pants. And especially if you're an older guy.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to
Pull up
me.
your pants. Wear a
Yeah,
belt.
yeah.
Women are sagging now. Did you know that,
I
Sybil?
saw that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if they were of a particular group of
Baby.
people, but yeah, I've seen
No,
that
no.
too.
The girlies are sagging and I don't understand it. I don't get it. And it's like at that point, clearly you are spending money on underwear because your underwear has to be,
Because we see all of that.
so it's just like you gotta make sure they're nice on point. But yeah, that's wild to me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw that. I want to say it was last week, and I think it was. I don't know if it was on the cruise or not, but I
Mm,
did see a woman wearing sagging pants, and I was like,
hmm.
that is so not cute.
Yeah, yeah. At
No,
all. At
no,
all.
not
Yeah.
at all. Um, so let me share with you last night watching the basketball game. I don't know if you know that the NBA finals are going on right
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Okay.
I do love basketball. You see me? You see me?
Oh,
You see
that's
me?
right, wearing your Lakers proudly. Okay. So this was in Miami. They were playing game 3, and Mr. Miami basketball, Dwayne Wade,
Hmm.
has been there a time or two. He's now retired. He was sitting on the sidelines in what looked like a woman's crocheted bed jacket.
Mm.
And I was like,
That's not your thing.
now, no, it's not. First of all, no. But I also don't like, and this has nothing to do with my taste in women because I don't have that, but wearing a bonnet out in public.
Mhm, mhm.
That's a turn off for me. When I see, my girlfriend's doing that. House shoes, wearing those in public.
Oh,
That's
so
just
you can't wear those little slippers out? No?
mm,
Oh, okay.
I think if
Are
you
you one of those neighbors? I come out with my little slippers
oh
on
no. I mean, like if you go
in public, like going out to
like okay, going on a plane and it looks like you forgot to get something at the
yes.
store.
Mm-hmm.
And no,
No, I
no.
seen somebody getting on the plane literally with like the house shoes with like a little dog at the top, like like the ones with like a character. I'm like, girl, if you don't go put on some
I
shoes.
wear those around the house. I absolutely love those, but I'm not going to wear those on American,
Yeah.
for my next flight.
Yeah. Ooh,
I
so do you have anything that is more on a character trait level outside of just like appearance and things like that? Do you have anything like that?
I do like smart people, but I don't like smart people that have to prove how smart they are. Because I think if
Mhm.
you're smart, it comes out. I
Yeah.
don't think that, you have to like start using the big A words and which, we have on our social, but you don't have to impress me with how smart you are. It'll come about. And it doesn't necessarily have to be book smart.
Mhm.
Anthony Brown used to always tease us, those of us with college degrees, he goes, tech school. But he has common sense. So I
Mhm.
can
Mhm.
appreciate that too. And having worked with comedians, I appreciate how smart comedians are because of the way they can craft a joke
Mhm.
and throw out the bomos and what have you. So those are things. And I like people who really have a sense of family.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have a good sense of family and can appreciate because I've dated those that like, no, that's okay. I don't want to come to your family reunion.
And it's
I
just
don't want
fun.
to.
And see, this is a real thing, you guys. Dating people, when they say opposites attract, like
Mhm.
date somebody that's similar to you, date somebody that literally is like you. Why would you
Yeah.
want to date somebody that's super opposite? Because that is how conflict and friction is going to happen. It's going to be inevitable. Just how you said with the family, if you're dating someone that doesn't have a sense of family and that's something that you love, you guys are going to always kind of butt heads a little bit when it comes to going to see family or family coming over. And I don't want that to be an argument when I could literally choose just not to date you, because
Right,
that's
right.
something that's not going
Because
to change.
if you don't have a good relationship with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, whoever is there,
Mm-hmm.
that
It
to
speaks a
me, yeah,
lot.
it says a lot. It really
Yeah.
does. And so that and people who are not honest with
I
themselves
see
or with
it.
others.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to start within for sure. Because how can you be honest with others if you cannot be honest with yourself? And it's hard.
Mhm.
But that's something before dating. That's something to definitely think about and look into and really check out for sure.
I also like a handyman.
Come on,
Um,
handyman. Come on, we love a good
well, I'm
handyman that
going
can
through
fix some stuff.
something with my house, and so it's oh my god,
You need you a good handyman. Any
I it's
handyman?
just
You
it's
are you
just
taking applications, Sybil? Is that
no,
what
I'm
you
not. No,
you
no,
throwing out
no, no,
applications there?
not using it Sybil to take applications. But I am asking people to share with us those no's. What are those hard no's that you when you see someone and the way they present themselves cosmetically, and the type of clothes that they choose to wear or shoes or whatever. What are those hard no's? So Aprylete, and not this is not the subject, but you brought it up. What are those things that you look for in a guy to have, in
Mm.
him to have?
Okay, the character traits. I would definitely say faith. That's my number one, like must have for sure. Number two, or not even number two, but something else would be like emotional intelligence. Like I,
Mhm.
I need you to be able to tap into, like I need you to be able to read a room, read me, read yourself, like emotional intelligence.
Read a room, read me, read yourself. Okay.
I need you to tap into. I did like literally, I enjoy someone. They have to have a sense of it kind of sounds cliche, but it's just like ambition. Because I
Mhm.
know that's the type of person I am, and I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to push you to be the best that you can be. But if you don't have that inside of you, it's going to be very hard for me to pour into. And at some point, like I'm gonna keep pouring, and if you ain't taking heed to it, it's like I'm gonna get dried up. I'm gonna get tired,
And I'm gonna walk away.
and I'm gonna walk away. So those are some of the things that I look in for in the inside for sure.
I like a spiritual man. I'm not. He doesn't necessarily have to be, every Sunday churchgoer. I don't want any devil worshipers for sure, but
Right.
someone with a good foundation and a sense
That's important.
of
That's important.
spirituality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yolanda, do we have any folks that have some hard nose? Oh, Carl Hodges on Facebook. All natural, no fake stuff. That's me.
Yeah, no,
And you're looking at two natural girls here. A little lip gloss. The dyed Jacqueline
oh,
on Facebook, on YouTube says the dyed black hair. You don't like a man who does.
she
The
want them salt and pepper. She want them
you
salt
like the
and pepper.
natural. You like the natural grays and silvers. An old silver fox, if you will. Brenda Brooks Perry on YouTube. No tats, dreads, or droopy pants.
You don't like a little tattoo?
I like a tattoo,
I
but
like a
have you
tattoo.
noticed how many there are these days? Or maybe it's just because it's summertime. But
They got the shirt on.
they have, they're wearing, short sleeve t-shirts and full arm, full sleeves of tattoos. And one woman, now this was in Jamaica, and one woman had a pair of shorts on, and just underneath the shorts, she had a tattoo around her thigh. And it was just below the line of her shorts. I thought, well, that took a lot of time to think about placement. And
I missed that because my computer was frozen. What happened below the shorts?
So she had on a pair of shorts, and just below the line of the shorts was a tattoo that went around her leg. I thought her thigh. And so I thought that took a lot of time and a lot of, measuring, I guess, and making sure that the tattoo artist had it right. And it was a continuous tattoo, because I was like, I'm not really trying to look, but that was just fascinating to me. But more and more and more, more tattoos. I'm too old for a tattoo. There was a point, it was like,
you don't have no tattoos?
I got nothing.
Look at you.
Got nothing. But I think I missed my window.
Girl, you can still get a tattoo.
No, I think you're very nice, but I think I'm maxed out on tattoos.
You and Yogi gonna get match your bestie tattoo.
No, Yolanda got her nose.
Her nose pierced. That's what I'm saying. So y'all gonna go get match your bestie tattoo.
I really don't think she's gonna get a tattoo. But if she is, God bless her. Go for it. But I'm just not, and the paw print, right here.
Oh, baby, that was so hot back in like early 2000s, 1990s and stuff.
But now we're 30 years later, and
some people walking around with Tweety
and our breasts are not where they used to be, Aprylete, and so the paw print has gone down a lot. The paw print is now down with some other part bodies. So, Yolanda, do we have anybody else? So here we go. Carolyn Jones Jameson on Facebook. Shoes. My dad taught us that. Yes, a man's shoe says a lot about him. I believe that too.
Yep.
And if you're wearing some flip-flops on a plane, I can't with you. CM Williams on Facebook. If you're a dude past 30 still wearing a jersey in public, something's wrong.
He can't rep his team. Dang. Let him live and let him rep his team.
I'm not mad at the jersey, but Aprylete, have you noticed that people, and this is way before your time, when I was a little girl, people used to dress up to go on planes and trains, right? Dress like suits, and ladies in nice dresses and things. So we got past that. I'm glad of that. But I don't want to see people out on a plane or getting on a plane with wife beater t-shirts and things, and because there's a lot of stuff going on underneath this, and looking like you just were washing the car, and then you said, oh, I got a flight to catch, and then go and not range off and change clothes.
That's the only way you're gonna know if he's a handyman, if he show up in his wife beater.
No. I'm gonna need you to cover things up a little bit more than that. And as handy as it is, I'll bring you, a cold drink, but I don't need to I don't need you to be wearing a wife beater.
Just out all in public, just looking unkept.
Yeah.
On.
Janice Eatman on Facebook. I appreciate men who take care of their health and appearance as they age. They all seem to expect women to at every age.
Come on now.
When they let a lot of stuff go, they have the nerve to talk smack about women like we should be happy for any attention. Janice.
Yes, Janice. Yes. Let them
I say
know.
brava, brava. You're absolutely right. What's good for the old goose is good for the gander.
Yep.
And so, yeah, if you really like to take care of your woman to take care of herself, then you owe that to her
Yeah.
as well.
Match that energy, baby. Because I
Yep.
can't, be in the gym doing that and you sitting over here looking like the letter P. Okay. So now,
Not the letter
the
P.
letter P. Skinny legs, big belly. No. No. Okay. No.
That is hilarious. Okay, Yolanda, before we wrap this up, any more that you want us to see? Dora Levette Tiggs said Crocs. You hate them, Dora? Do
Love
you
me
hate them
some
on men or do you hate them on women or both? Because
Dang.
Crocs can rock.
No,
I'm sorry.
literally. I love me some Crocs.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I have fat feet. So it's just like I need something that,
oh,
yeah, I do have fat feet.
no
Jesus.
way. No
Yeah.
way. Well,
So
you know,
I
I'm gonna
need
check that
something that
out the
makes
next time
me
I
feel
see you, right?
good.
But I do like to wear tennis shoes, and I'm not opposed to wearing tennis shoes on the plane. And Yolanda and I got into this discussion the other day. We have traveled for years. I never knew that she didn't like tennis shoes, but
What?
I was like, you mean like these? And pointed out,
You mean like
I really
so
like
what does
wearing
she wear?
tennis.
Did she wear a flip flop
She
or like a
wears
slide?
she might wear a slide, but it's stylish. Her
Yeah, of
stuff
course,
is
for
always
sure.
she's always got to wear a heel or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
My heel has to be a wedge for comfort because no telling how many hours I'm going to be on my feet
Yeah.
or walking or running through an airport or whatever. So, thank you all so much for participating. I hope we can revisit this again and see how we're doing in our selection. And for men, I also want to know how you feel about women with the Bambi lashes. There's a
Oh,
lot of that going on.
yeah.
There's a lot of that, where the woo, woo, woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo. I'm not opposed to lashes, but the
Just
Bambi
real
lashes.
natural and very,
Yeah,
subtle.
yeah, not so bad, not so bad. All right, so let's move to trending. And I did mention that there was some good news that came out today. And this is a surprise, April. This is what I wrote about for tomorrow's newsletter. So check this out and read a little bit more in depth about it in our newsletter tomorrow. The Supreme Court has ruled against the state of Alabama in a high stakes Voting Rights Act case. The Supreme Court has invalidated a congressional map drawn by the state lawmakers, read the Republican majority, in Alabama after the 2020 census. This is why we were talking about how important it was for us to be represented in the census. And
Mhm.
so they took their census results and they tried to put all Black folks in one congressional district. And I believe that's Terry Sewell in
Hmm.
Alabama, and who is a wonderful congresswoman. But 25% of the population in Alabama is Black. So you're going to put as many Black people
In
in
one
this and
area.
dilute the voting power of
Yeah.
Black folks throughout the state of Alabama. And so they voted against this, and the decision came down today, finding the state's redistricting plan for its 7 House seats likely violated a key provision of the Voting Rights Act. They say it was Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Now, what's so interesting about this is that not only did the Supreme Court vote for this and vote against Alabama, but this is a very conservative court.
Mm.
You have a conservative Chief Justice, and you have 3 conservative justices that were nominated by Donald Trump. They were the 3 most recent before the great Ketanji Brown Jackson, and so Justice Jackson. And so the Chief Justice, as well as one of Donald Trump's uh, conservative justices, Brett Kavanaugh, voted with the liberal branch,
Wow.
the liberal members of the Supreme Court, 5-4 vote.
Wow.
And this was very important. They declined to accept far reaching arguments from Republican officials in Alabama that would have made it more difficult to challenge congressional and state legislative maps that dilute the power of minority voters under Section 2, as I mentioned. Brett Kavanaugh, Sonia Sotomayor, which is just fun to say, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson were the justices who joined Chief Justice Roberts in the majority, while Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett dissented. This in favor of a group of Black voters who challenged the lawfulness of the congressional voting lines came as a surprise. Surprise, color me surprised, but
Okay.
grateful that this is this happened in a court that has chipped away consistently in the Voting Rights Act in a string of decisions, mostly under the current Chief Justice Roberts, who voted with the liberal justices today, or the decision came down. He wrote the majority opinion, which was fascinating. So this is good news,
and
and
I'm like, this is good. Like,
this is really great news, and especially for people in the South, where, as you know, having come from Georgia, the South is growing in numbers of Black and brown voters, but especially Black folks are moving to the South. And in Alabama, 25% of the state is Black. One congressional voting district is represented by a Black woman.
Wow.
So you got 7 districts, and 6 white Republican districts in the state of Alabama. This is going to change the game a little bit. Florida, Louisiana.
I hope they follow suit. Everybody follow suit. Let's get in line.
Yep.
It's time. I mean, it's time. It is time.
It's way past time. And, they gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013. And so now there's kind of, but some of this has to do with the fact that people are really ticked off with a lot of the decisions, conservative decisions that have come out of the court, and their numbers, their popularity numbers, if you will, their polling numbers have really seen a deep plunge. And that might be a part of it, but certainly they are calling their actions into question. And so this might be something that they may use to appease people and to assuage their guilt. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, good on you and good on Alabama. Because Black folks of Alabama can use this. Are you a fan of DC Young Fly on Wild and Out? Okay. So he has finally broken his silence on the death of his girlfriend, Jackie O. He took to Instagram, posting a series of photos of their family. And he wrote, "I wasn't in no rush to post this because I wanted it to be a dream so bad. But every hour I'm reminded of reality. So I want to make sure I applaud you in the proper manner." He wrote, "You are the greatest mother," all caps, I know. "Your soul was beautiful. You always wanted the best for others. And I admired how our family loved each other. Never had to worry about our kids loving each other because you were on top of that." Jackie O died in Miami last week. Her cause of death is still not clear, but it was said that she was in Miami for some sort of cosmetic procedure known as mommy makeover. Just tragic. And to see all the pictures of them as their family, and
such a beautiful family. And she's so young. God, my heart goes out.
Right.
And with the type of job that DC does, it's just like, wow, like how do you get back to making people laugh when you're in so much pain,
Right. That's a good question. And something that we, Yolanda and I were talking about that the other day, or today actually, and maybe something we can talk about in the future. But how do you help people going through something like that? And comedians, it's their job, to make laugh and laugh. But they just like the rest of us suffer losses. And how do you get back to that place without the person that helped you get there?
Right.
That's tough. Do you know anyone who has been affected by the Canadian fires that have drifted across the country lines and affected the East Coast? Have you seen?
I've seen pictures and stuff, and I'm just like, wow.
And
I just wonder how it feels like. What does it feel like?
It's a lot like just having smoke in your lungs.
Ooh. That's horrible.
And Manuel Murphy on Facebook, your attention, please. Donald Trump will be indicted Tuesday. They're talking 7 counts. His weekend is a mess. It's already started, Manuel. The day that was part of my trending news. The day is now projected to be Tuesday, and federal indictments. This is not a state thing. This is a federal indictment.
We're gonna see.
Could be as many as 7 or more. But that's been a lot of the news today. And almost the Supreme Court decision almost got buried in there. But he's already a mess.
Been a mess.
He's spinning. And so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. So the money is how many indictments, what, and will it be Florida? Will it be Washington, D.C.? Because his people are everywhere, and talking about these documents that he
Finally, at this point, come on
called, that he declared war. Oh, these are good documents. I can take these, and these are documents that you can keep or take with you. But so yeah, thank you, Manuel. Appreciate that. The Canadian fires affecting, and they said it's a lot like smoke. I don't understand. I've seen a lot of people out, and this was the early part of the week, so maybe things have changed, but people were out and jogging without mask on.
Oh God.
And so this is
Just inhaling that in
yeah,
that
yeah. That's gonna mess up your whole lung system.
respiratory system.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Smoke plumes made up of fine particles and toxic gases can negatively affect our physical health, causing damage to the lungs and the heart, and exacerbating underlying conditions such as asthma. However, experts say the dense fog and hazy conditions, like those seen in areas in New York City, can also affect our mental health and well-being. There are studies showing that there's increased levels of PTSD, depression, and anxiety after wildfires. So the trauma of the impacts of the wildfires is hitting our homes, our communities, our schools, and just about everywhere in your community. So please be careful out there. I'm sorry that we're having difficulties in keeping Aprylete up, but we will continue with our conversation. One of my favorite people is Yamiche Alcindor. She is a former New York Times, Washington Post writer and journalist, and now she reports for NBC News, used to be on PBS NewsHour. Congrats to her. Yamiche Alcindor and her husband are new parents. They've welcomed their first baby after years of IVF, fertilization affected. She announced on Instagram that she and her husband Nathaniel welcomed a baby boy named Irie Miles Alcindor Klein Tuesday, May 30th. She announced the birth of her son, as I said, on Instagram, and showed a picture of this little pink thing. And he just looks so chill. He's not crying. He's just kind of laying there and sleeping.
Like, I'm here.
Yeah. And she said he does what babies do. He likes to eat and sleep. And you got one of those.
You good.
You're good. You
It's
are
so
golden.
good for her. Congratulations. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
She said her son's name, Irie, the same pronunciation as the Jamaican saying Irie, which means vibes are good and everything is well.
Ooh, I love it.
And she did share that she has been, having difficulties in conceiving, and said that, she just really suffered and kind of beat herself up because of her inability to carry a pregnancy. But she said now that her life has changed, and she looks forward to being Irie's mom. And good on her. If that makes her happy, I'm so happy for her.
So beautiful.
Yeah, she's good people. And she's a really good reporter. I hope that she reports and gives us reports on her son. Illinois health officials are warning about a salmonella outbreak in that state linked to ground beef. The health department said people were sickened between April 25th and May 18th. Some people in Illinois got sick from the salmonella, reported that they ate undercooked ground beef. So it's cookout time. And this is not, I'm not your normal Black person when it comes to meat, but I do like a medium rare. I do like a medium rare salmon, and I like a medium rare burger, and I like a medium rare steak. Pank. I like pank.
Okay.
But that's the downfall of that. If you ask for something like that, or whoever's cooking, eating off of their grill. And
that's why I stick to my veggies. Throw some veggies on the grill, clean it off, and that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
Let me tell you about a little bit about salmonella. It can emerge 6 to 72 hours after eating the contaminated beef, and it includes nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps, and headaches. Sounds just like a Saturday here. I'm kidding. Here's a question for you. Did Joel and Victoria Osteen really resign from the Lakewood Church in Houston? you know Joel
Yeah.
Osteen
What's
about
the answer? Because I haven't seen him in a minute now. So what's
Right.
the answer?
So there's an online article that claimed Joel and Victoria Osteen announced their resignation from the church to focus on a new initiative. The married couple serve as pastors at Lakewood Church in Houston, with Joel listed as the senior pastor and Victoria as the co-pastor. But they say that it was part of a scam. It's not true. The misleading article was designed to fool readers into thinking they were reading a People magazine story. However, it was hosted on a top magazine trending.com, not people.com. And they say, they're trying to get you, but don't believe it. Joel and Olivia Osteen are still at the Lakewood Church. And, they've gone through a lot there.
Yeah, they have. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, but don't nobody got time for all that. Like, it's either, what we doing? All this playing, nobody have time for that.
That's funny. That's funny. Let us move to entertainment, and it's BET Awards time.
Ooh.
They will air live on BET Sunday, June 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Culture's biggest night will celebrate 50 years of hip hop throughout the live telecast on BET. Check your local listings for your BET channel. The awards nominations were selected by the BET Voting Academy, comprised of an esteemed group of entertainment professionals, influencers in music, media, digital, marketing, sports, journalism, public relations, and creative arts. A lot of publicists were involved in this, nominating their clients, I suspect. But anyway, Drake and Glorilla lead the nominations, followed by 21 Savage and Lizzo. Love her. Drake leads the nominations with 7. This year's nominees reflect, as they say, abundant creative expression and Black excellence across music, television, film, and sports. I have a feeling that Brittany Griner is going to be
there.
If she can get away. The season is already underway. As a matter of fact, the Phoenix Mercury are in Dallas for the next day or two. But if they can make sure she gets there for the broadcast on the 25th, I suspect that she will be saluted for her for what she did, and her strength and her courage, and when she was taken in by or was imprisoned by Russians, and doing that over the months, and came home and did whatever it was to get her head right. And now she's back on the court, and she is really out there promoting getting other people who have been arrested in other countries and being held against their will. Like, there's a guy from Texas, I think he's from Houston. They showed him last night during the game, and because it was a Texas game, and he's being held in Dubai against his will. I've been to Dubai. I never would have thought that there were people who were being held. Yeah. And for 15 years.
Oh, wow. Why though? What is who?
They accused him of, I think it was money, having something to do with like funneling money, or I'm not sure if it was laundering, but they got enough money over there. Why are you going,
15 years?
15 years. He's been there half of his son's life.
That's heartbreaking. It's like you go on vacation and it's like, you may not be coming back. So,
and they tell you to check these countries, but the time we did go to Dubai, it was, well, let's go to Dubai. Everybody's going to Dubai.
Yeah.
And you don't check because the country says okay, but now they're saying, I don't know if you really want to go there or not.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry for that, man.
Yeah, me too. I know I got off topic, but that was about Brittany Griner, and I hope that she will be saluted during the BET Awards on June 25th. And if she's not, you should, BET. I'm just saying. It's now time for the Daily Jewel inspiration. Sharing this week has been a theme, and it has been grief. Those of us who love really hard will suffer great loss. Time and space are the gifts that we give to ourselves to grieve. Time is a great healer. That's all I can tell you. Having been there a time or 2 or 3 or 4, the time really does help you in your grieving process. So take a look at Yogi's Jewels all week. Listen to them on Instagram, and breathe. Remind you to breathe. Young Aprylete, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you on a Thursday.
And you too, my friend. I appreciate you. I know that you got a lot going on, but I do appreciate you taking time to join us and to chop it up with us
I
today.
needed this. This was great. So it got my mind off of things. So I needed this.
Good, good. A wind down. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I like it. Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again here very soon. Aloha.